It is Luke Skywalker Friday morning. Come, let us meditate like a Jedi. An individual on Reddit asked, what does it feel like to be in the present moment? I used to ask that question too when I was an acolyte of NLP or neuro-linguistic programming. The idea was that if you could contrive the state, you could access the state, kind of like like a hacker finding a back door. And after much experimentation and tears, I found that didn't work. I also found it over many years and great experimentation that the present moment is an illusion. Once we say, I will notice this moment, but not that moment, and not that moment, not the past, and not the future, only this moment. I will notice here, but not there. We are indulging our controlling tendencies. We are not living in our sympathetic nervous system, passively observing. Au contraire, we are living in our prefrontal cortex, and we are actively, rigidly concentrating. We might call it focus, we might call it mindfulness, but it's not. It's concentration. As we go on a walk, we might pass a steaming pile of doggy doo. We might call it chocolate, but that doesn't change the fact of what it is, what it looks like, what it smells like, or from whence it came. There are a lot of people who make a lot of money giving people bad spiritual advice. Why? Was it profitable? Because if you can give someone bad spiritual advice and they fail to generate the results you promised, then a portion of them will keep coming back to you for additional instruction and books and seminars and the like. But that's got nothing to do with love. The Buddha taught to never charge for the Dharma. The Buddha taught, do not buy and sell the Dharma. To this day, after all these decades, the most valuable Dharma advice I've ever received was free. And so here's my free advice to you. Every time we inhale, we are already wired to effortlessly access the sympathetic nervous system ensconced within the middle third of our spinal cord. This bad boy has evolved to help us notice in a very special way. It has evolved to help us notice vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly, which is the opposite of the rigidity of concentration. What is it we have evolved to notice? We have evolved to notice the antics of mind as it perceives, sees, hears, feels, tastes, smells, and the like, such as emoting, intending, reasoning, recalling, and imagining. Whether that which we notice is external or internal, physical or mental, pleasurable or painful, whether that which we notice is interesting or boring, glorious or grotesque, our job is to notice it, and the only label we need ever use is simply the demonstrative pronoun, this. It's just that simple, but the question remains, what are we to do with the three-ring shit show that we observe? Enter meditation. For my friends, every time we exhale, whether we know it or not, we are already wired to access our parasympathetic nervous system. Divided between the lower third and the upper third of that same spinal cord, this parasympathetic nervous system has evolved to support both physical relaxation as well as mental release. What does it mean to release that which we noticed? What does it mean to release the duality of desires and dreads? What does it mean to release our resistance to the presence of what we dread? What does it mean to release our resistance to the absence of that which we desire? Simply this: that regardless of how loud or quiet those resistances are, they cease to control our choices and our utterances and our deeds. That is the liberation that the Buddha promised, that and nothing else. We still, are cold in the winter and warm in the summer. We still get tired in the evening. We still get zoomies intermittently. These are neither good nor bad. They simply are. Our greatest enemy is not the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune. Our greatest enemy is our own survival instinct that feeds our controlling tendencies when they run amok. Occasionally, it's perfectly appropriate in a survival situation to have a controlling tendency, to resist a bear eating your face. The problem is not that we have survival mechanisms, but that they go from being tools to being tyrants in our life. And that which liberates us from the tyranny of that which was evolved to serve us is simply the wonders of our autonomic system, the wonders of noticing and releasing. Now, if we are already wired to do these things, why do them at all? Because choosing to sit and notice and release trains our cerebral cortex, the 3-pound supercomputer between our ears, to stop resisting and repressing our autonomic nervous system, but instead to cooperate with it.